How's it going? I'm Andrew with Investors Hub, and every talk's a TED Talk when you talk to Ted Ohashi. And on this special TED Tuesday, it just so happens to be 420. Didn't plan it out like that, just one of life's little coincidences. And we'll be chatting about, well, you probably guessed it, we'll be talking about the cannabis industry, and we'll be talking about the Safe Banking Act that recently got passed by the U.S. House of Representatives. And we'll also be chatting about a couple of companies in his model portfolio, including Lexaria and Jushi and Khiron. And we'll get the cliche out of the way. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. Share us too. That's a great way to help us grow. And let's hear from Ted. Please note that our videos are not designed to be direct investing advice. We're here to gather the perspective of different investors. Our channel and our content should just be one stop on the journey of trying to find out where to put your money. So we learned recently that the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Safe Banking Act. So what do you think this will mean for the cannabis industry?
Well, I think it's a positive. It's as we've been talking, it isn't legalization or anything like that, but it is a step that will improve conditions for companies that are actually operating in the business. So the multi-state operators will all benefit from it. The smaller operators, people that are actually doing something that's generating revenue, because right now, they haven't really had access to a full suite of banking services. After this legislation passes, I think they will.
So do you think that the demographics of the Senate have changed enough so that the bill will make it all the way through?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure demographics is the right term. I mean, if you look at the House vote, a majority of the Republicans that voted in favor of the Safe Banking Act as well. So, and you know, the Democrats had a bit of a lead in the House. In the Senate, it's 50-50, but I think that there'll be enough Republicans that will see that, you know, this is the right thing to do. And so I expect that it will pass. But, you know, again, just to remind our viewers that passing is one thing and enacting is another. And so before things actually change for the operators, we'll probably be well into the third or fourth quarter of this year.
So it feels like all we do is talk about the new laws and stuff that are coming out or might come out. So are there any non-legislative catalysts that cannabis investors should be paying attention to?
Well, yeah, you know, there are always things that are going on. I mean, I think the product that is really hot right now is flower. I mean, people are just buying all that can be produced. And what's coming behind that are the edibles, particularly the beverages. And so I think that's one trend to certainly keep an eye on. I think the expansion being undertaken by the multi-state operators is another one. I mean, as you know, we've talked about Jushi a lot in the last little while. They've just gone into Massachusetts. They've just gone into Ohio. They've just announced expansion in Pennsylvania. And Virginia. And so, you know, that's sort of what I think will dominate the news over the next little while. Just expansion into states. It looks like the regulations are going to go kind of state by state, get the feds out of the way, let the states decide what they want to do, and then let the companies look at each state and decide whether they want to be there or not.
So I know you just mentioned Jushi's expansions, but if you had to pick two companies, and you could use Jushi as one of them if you want, what two companies in your model portfolio have had interesting developments?
Yeah, that's a tough question because, you know, we have a number of interesting stocks in there, but if you're holding my feet to the fire here and I need to pick two, I guess Khiron has to be one of them. Khiron has a really interesting business model now that they're using. They're opening these mini clinics and staffing them with doctors that are educated in the prescribing of cannabis for various ailments. And they're going to take the experience that they have with various strains and spread through Latin America and Europe using this model. And I think they're going to be really busy over the next year and a half, and the revenues are going to follow as that happens, coincident with that happening. So I think that's one. The other one I would have to say is Lexaria. Lexaria has this dehydrotech technology that increases the bioavailability of various drugs and molecules into the system, also the speed of it getting into the system. And they have set themselves up now with tests that start in May. Some of them are animal tests, some of them are human tests. I think even one or two of them are just lab tests. But what it means is that starting probably May, June, there's going to be a regular flow of information on dehydrotech and how various molecules have responded when it's included. And so this is going to open, I think, a lot of avenues for a company like Lexaria to move in. And I think that it's one that will appeal to American investors. And Lexaria recently listed on the NASDAQ, LEXX. And so, yeah, I would have to say they would be a candidate as well.
Any final thoughts?
No. I think that, the cannabis group has been sitting quietly here. And the news of the Safe Banking Act didn't really trigger much activity, although you can certainly see the American based companies are performing better on the markets today than the Canadian group. The Canadian group are all down quite a lot. And so I think what it's going to take now is for the next step, which is to get to the Senate and be approved there. And when that happens, which I don't think will take necessarily a long time, we might be talking about weeks rather than, 6 months or something. And so I think when that happens, then we'll see the group begin to react. People will sort out their issues. They'll see that the Canadian cannabis operators are not really a good way to play the U.S. market for cannabis. And they'll focus more on the companies that are actually operating in the U.S. And so I think that we're in for an interesting 6 to 12 months now in the cannabis group.
Any disclosures?
No. Same as always. Don't have any don't own any of the stocks that I talked about, and don't have any plans to acquire them in the next 72 hours.
Thanks for watching. And if you like the content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can also follow us on Twitter at iHub_vision, and I'll see you again soon.